You're growing very rapidly, doubling the capacity. How much more growth do you foresee for this industry here in Bulgaria?
Well, the good news is it's a Bulgarian production company, and luckily the markets are everywhere. So we see big potential. I don't know what is the limit, but I'll give you an example. For example, we would be producing 60,000 tons total bio-PP per year. Let's say the big international companies would be producing 500,000 tons, so we have some space to go and to reach bigger volumes.
The seat of management of production is Bulgaria. You just received A status, right? Investor.
Yeah, exactly.
How do you feel about the award and the incentives of the Bulgarian government you received to continue your investment scheme?
We are working well with the government, and we're particularly pleased with the current government for providing a stable framework, because in these turbulent times it's very easy to go one or another way with a bigger swing. While here we have stability, and growth is always better than stability, but for our company growth is possible anyway around the foreign market, so we need stability in the home country, and it is existing. Also, it is very easy to communicate with this government, and we've had very good communication. For example, I'm on the board of the biggest industrial chamber, which is called KRIP, and every month we're meeting with specific minister. Every quarter we're meeting with the Prime Minister and the Cabinet. So it's a very straightforward communication. It is very open. We are putting the issues on the table, and we're discussing how we can solve them. I'd say this is a new approach. For the last 20 years, this is the first time that we see this sort of openness, and we're quite happy with that.
Now, we work closely together with some of the larger private equity firms in New York, and they're extremely interested in looking at Eastern Europe. They also realize that the growth and the opportunities at this moment in time are probably more in Eastern and Southern Europe than in Western Europe. What is your personal experience with the US, and what opportunities do you see for investment firms of the US in Bulgaria?
My personal experience is that in the beginning of my career, I worked for several years for US private equity companies. So
I'm asking the right person.
I have some experience with that, and since then I'm constantly working with private equity funds in buying companies, etc. I'd say for Bulgaria, the number of companies that are investment grade are relatively limited, which means that small number and the size is not big enough. And I think that would be one of the problems for the big private equity funds, let's say out of the States, etc., where they're looking at specific deal sizes. But in the region, I would say there is opportunities. Of course, depending on the focus, I see big opportunities in consolidating different sectors. Big opportunities emerging in agriculture now, because it's just becoming an efficient industry in Bulgaria, and some of the players are very sizable. I would say private equity, I don't know, but maybe venture companies coming here and supporting startups. I've seen a lot of activity in young people that are developing products relevant for the foreign markets. Actually, it's not even right to say that, because these products for internet, they're international, so they cannot be purely Bulgarian or anything. And now there are some vehicles like that. Some here, I think the ministry is involved in these Jeremy funds, right? They are starting these 2 incubators and 1 small private equity fund. I'd say these vehicles for sure in the next 3 to 5 years will grow. These are the seeds of some mushrooms to grow bigger. So That is my opinion. Unfortunately, the number of investment opportunities is relatively limited in terms of pure private equity. For co-investments, I think it's a ripe market. Like foreign investors who want to attack the European market could find the right base in Bulgaria because first we have now the support of the government. We just received this recognition as an investor. Second, the low tax base. I'd say qualified labor force, and the qualification is as good as anywhere. So it's a good place to base your activities for Europe.
What is the main strategy at this point of Plastchim, and what opportunities do you see with Plastchim for joint operations like joint ventures or developing new products together?
Specifically for US investors, I think that we can be supplying the US market, and maybe some US investors who are willing to explore other markets could be reinvesting or investing with us in bigger production facilities, because for the current project we have fulfilled our dream, our ambition. But it is just a mini case of the general case that I was referring to, which is somebody who wants to explore the European market, finds a solid partner in Bulgaria. For example, this is the Turkish model, but they're mainly working on the Turkish market, right? Because they have these big joint ventures with the families in Turkey. Here in Bulgaria it could be the same case, however the market would not be the Bulgarian market, it's just too small for anything, but it could easily be the European market. And as part of the European Union, you know, there is no borders, there is nothing, and from the Bulgarian border, actually I was just doing a two-week trip around Europe by car. It's a highway all the way, so you know, it's a very nice production base.
With Plastchim, what are your targets for the next 3 years, and where do you want to stand 3 years from now?
Yeah, actually we have multiple directions for our development, and the first important target is to manage to accomplish this project that we were just awarded with this certificate, because it's a major project. It's doubling a capacity that is already pretty substantial, which means investing in new markets, developing our joint ventures. We have joint ventures, I mentioned, in some of the key markets where we're developing our distribution network and these partnerships, and really making it happen. The equipment and everything is going to be here next year, October, which means there is some period to prepare. In the meantime, we're really working on developing these markets, and we're investing in some of the other products that we have, so it's pretty busy.